Welcome once again to Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr. Joining me is Juan Zarate. He's our national security analyst. Juan, as always, good to see you.
Bob, great seeing you.
Boko Haram, the terror group in Nigeria, now seems to be, if the reports are true, in negotiation with the government. Then there's talk of a peace deal. Is that possible?
Well, there is talk of a ceasefire. You have talks in neighboring Chad between government operatives and officials and representatives from Boko Haram. This seems to be a real negotiation. Whether or not the ceasefire is real and can be brought to fruition is a different question. You already see a challenge. You've seen attacks over the last 24 hours in Nigeria from what some suspect to be Boko Haram. The Nigerian government has claimed it may be criminal gangs. But regardless, your question and the current events suggest that it's going to be very difficult to see a mid or long-term ceasefire that actually holds. This is the group, obviously, that took the 200 girls. They continue to take not just further hostages, but more territory, and they are resolved to attack the Nigerian state. And so I don't know long-term what this means for a peace deal, but at a minimum, the government is trying to get the girls back, and that's a near-term imperative.
This government's under tremendous pressure. I mean, obviously, a hostage rescue has not happened. Not even clear that the government knows where the girls are.
Right. And the girls may be dispersed.
But now the government's reduced to negotiating with terrorists, and that's always kind of a tricky proposition.
Well, it's a tricky proposition, in particular with Boko Haram, which isn't just a one-off terrorist group that has done one particular act. This is a movement. This is an irregular army. This is a group that is attempting to govern and take over territory and attack the Nigerian state. And so it's not as if you're dealing with a criminal gang that's just happened to take some hostages. This is a more existential question for the Nigerian state, and certainly for Boko Haram. You know, what is the modus vivendi with the Nigerian state that really has been your central enemy? So I don't know what this looks like, but we've known that the Nigerians have been talking to Boko. We know that they have been trying to find a way to get the girls back. They haven't been able to execute a rescue, obviously. And so they're trying to find any way to end that crisis. Keep in mind, too, Bob, the fact that this got so much international attention may be empowering Boko Haram a bit, because it's a major chip that they can play to perhaps allow the consolidation of their power and control over parts of northern and eastern Nigeria that they have now taken over.
It's hard to see what this could look like, though. I mean, do we have a case where this terror group may successfully carve out part of the country and say to the government, hey, this is ours now, and you've agreed to this?
Well, you could do that. I mean, you've had historical examples of that. You had that between Colombia and the FARC. There was an area called El Despejo, a region that
kind of
was
a no-go zone.
No-go zone. That's your region. That went terribly. That did not go well. That emboldened the FARC and created years more of tension. You had this to a certain extent in Syria with the Islamic State and the Assad regime, where there was a sense of a modus vivendi, at least until last year. You know, you control that territory, we'll attack the others. So there are ways of accommodating, at least short term, to get a deal, at least to get the girls back. I don't know what a long-term solution looks like, because the Nigerian state is committed to destroying this group and dislodging them. Boko Haram is committed to taking over as much territory and establishing Islamic rule as part of this al-Qaeda vision. So I don't know what that modus vivendi looks like, but at a minimum, the Nigerian state wants to pursue an opportunity to get those girls back, and other hostages as well.
This is far from a done deal, though.
No, not a done deal. And the other thing to keep in mind, as with any of these groups, you're perhaps going to have splinter groups that go after and undermine the ceasefire, even if they get one. So there may be a militant group that decides to do some bombing campaigns to undermine the credibility of the ceasefire.
All right, Juan, thanks very much.
Thank you, Bob.
And thanks to you for watching Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr. We'll see you next time.